This is the Thayer Podcast for Monday, July 8th, 2024. Most of my 4th of July was spent behind the wheel of my trusty 2012 Nissan Sentra Steed on the way to Monterey, California to visit with my dear friend and 1958 high school classmate, Maxine Davis Mason. Everybody told me an old fart like me was too decrepit to do that kind of stuff. After all, with pit stops, it's about 12 and a half hours from my house in Wheatfields near Globe, Arizona, to hers in Delray Oaks neighborhood on the Monterey Peninsula. Fiddlesticks. I left Wheatfields at 10 minutes after 3 in the morning and arrived at Maxine's front door 3 minutes after 4 in the afternoon. I stopped in Blythe, Pasadena, and Paso Robles on the way, and it was super impressive at every turn. Of course, it helped that my iPhone hostess Siri was giving me instructions all the way. A dear friend from El Cajon recommended that on the way to Monterey, I listen to the CD audiobook of Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. I remember reading the original many, many years ago. For me, it was a dynamic refresher on how to interact with other people. When I arrived at Maxine's place, there were flowers everywhere. She's a year older than me and is still very active with her garden. She has more than a green thumb. I'd call it more like fertilizer fingers. There's no way I could tell what they were, but her gardens front and back were just gorgeous. I took a ton of photos of her work. Friday morning, I caught some more of them in the early fog. Thursday evening, Maxine made lobster tails and tasked me with cutting them in half lengthwise before they were popped in the oven. There was a wonderful salad with a special dressing, and we had boiled and spiced baby potatoes to go with several glasses of Barefoot brand Moscato wine. Just yummy. My high school chum Max is a great cook, and dinner was fantastic. Friday, we got up early so I could go bask in the fog. That's one of the things I miss about the Central California coast. The fog that rolls in late at night and burns off a few hours after sunrise. It's so refreshing after a warm summer day on the coast. I took a jacket along in case it got too cold. Poor Maxine was sweating her tatas off when it was only 78 degrees outside. This was when it was 119 in Blythe and 116 in Phoenix, and a mere 98 at my home in Wheatfields. We went to Carmel Beach and found a place to park with just feet of sand. It was marked, so I took advantage of my handicapped plates to keep from getting a ticket. Good thing, because just as we were getting ready to leave, a patrol car pulled up and explained that we were not in a regular parking space and we'd have to move. I thanked the officer for letting us know about that, and then we took off for Carmel Valley. Up Carmel Valley a few miles is the Saddle Mountain Ranch, where I had been the lifeguard for a summer in the very late 50s. Very picturesque, very high-end, and very friendly. The improvements they've made over the last half-century are incredible. Now, instead of cabins, they have tiny houses. Actual improvements on what used to be called tough sheds, and they're commanding a premium. Later that Friday evening, my faux sister Phyllis joined us for dinner. Max had cooked up a special Japanese version of fried rice a friend had given her, along with leftover roasted lobster tails, and multiple Chinese chow mein and sweet sour pork that I had purchased from a restaurant about a mile away. More Moscato with a huge watermelon for dessert. Talk about stuffed. It was great to see my dear friend Maxine again. She's such a wonderful host. After leaving at 7 o'clock Saturday morning, I managed to make it back home to Arizona by 8:30 that evening. Next time, I think I'll stay for 2 days, if Max will have me. Maxine Davis Mason and Monterey, California are quite a nice combination for a weekend away. At least for me. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Semper Fi.